Hello, how are you guys tonight? I hope all is well on your side. I hope everything has been blossoming and blooming according to the way that you have always planned it. I did want to get on tonight and go live. So I have been doing a detox. So I've been doing a detox, and it's the Dr. Bobby Price detox, and of course it's like plant-based. And I decided while I was going to add some things to the detox. It's 28 days, so I added my own little spin on it. So I have been getting like a lot of downloads, and one of the downloads that I got this morning, I felt the need to share. So I wanted to talk about relationships. So often we are in relationships, and when we break up, it's like, okay, we broke up. Everything tends to go as like it's everybody's fault. Like, it's your fault. This happened. This happened. This happened. But sometimes if you look back over your relationships, they may not have been that bad. It's just that they were not in alignment with the things that you desired for your relationship. So even if you are currently in a relationship, it's important to make sure that your current relationship is in alignment and that it remains in alignment with the things that you desire in your life. Also, it's important to make sure that the things that you are desiring in a relationship, that you are able to receive those things. So looking back at all of my relationships, I'm gonna just take you through my thought process. Looking back on all of my relationships, most of my relationships after, hi Miss Melinda, how are you? Most of my relationships after my abusive relationship, they weren't all that bad. The people were not, like, they were some pretty dope people. It's just that they were not in alignment with the things that I needed. And the reason why I say that if I hadn't followed my gut, that I probably wouldn't have been in those relationships, is because I knew from jump, like, this is not a good fit for me. But you know how, like, most of my relationships always be a person has chased me for such a period, and it's like, okay, let me just give you a chance so I can see what is you chasing me for. If I let you chase me for a whole year, 9 times out of 10, you was just not the one for me, and I should have stuck to my guns. But realizing that, it's like, okay, so what can I put in place to make sure that my next relationship is not like that? Even down to my most current relationship, I was actually like engaged last year, and I just decided, like, this is not everything that I need in a relationship. And it is important to make sure that you know what you need in a relationship, and make sure, like I said before, like, you're able to accept those things. So you can say, well, I want someone to love me unconditionally, but can you accept that type of love? Like, can you accept being vulnerable with someone enough for them to love you unconditionally? A lot of times we say, well, I want someone who pays me so much attention, but then when you get that attention, it's like, why are you always here? You're asking for something that you're not ready to receive, or either you don't know your non-negotiable, so you go into the relationship and you're not fully prepared to even be in the relationship. You don't really know that, okay, staying out late is something that I just know I can't tolerate. But you done got head over heels, or you may have had sex with somebody, and it's like, well, yeah, he stayed out last night, or he didn't call me yesterday, so I'm gonna just let it slide. No, if you know that that's gonna bother you in the future, that the same thing that you let slide in the beginning will be what breaks you up in the end. And it is very important to make sure that you are sticking to your boundaries and your standards when it comes to relationships, and that you know that you can give and accept the same thing. So, you know, as women, we often say, well, I want someone to protect and provide. Are you able to accept that type of protection? Because a lot of us are, I don't consider myself an independent woman anymore, but a lot of us have been raised to be independent women and bad bitches and all of that stuff. So when a man comes in and he's actually trying to lead you, or he's trying to protect you, are you able to accept that type of protection? Or will you feel like he's overstepping his boundaries because I got this, I got me, I can do this, I can do that? So you have to be careful what you're asking for. Yeah. And make sure that you are prepared to receive those things. If you want someone to lead, Are you able to take the back seat and allow someone to lead? Or do you feel like, oh no, this is my house, I do what I want to in here, you can't tell me what to do? If he came and said, babe, I know you want this job, but I really don't think it's the best job for you. I've checked some things out and I don't feel like you will be safe there. Are you willing to say, okay, honey, I understand what you're saying, I won't take the job? Or are you, well, I'm gonna just do what I want to do and you can't tell me not to take the job, this is a job I've been wanting to have? Like, you have to make sure that you are ready for the things that you are definitely asking for. Make sure you pay attention to your past relationships. Go through your relationship. Take self accountability. I always said the main person in all of your relationships is you. So if all of them are failing or all of them are going wrong and it's blame placed every which way, then it has to be something in you that's causing it to go this way. Like, I know I got a messed up attitude. Well, I had a messed up attitude. I know I can be stubborn, I can be hard-headed, I can be all of those things. I know that about myself, and I'm willing to accept those things, and I'm willing to work at those things. But a lot of times as women and men, it's like, oh, it ain't me, it must be him and his mama because it's not me. No, sis, it's you. No, sir, it's you. Like, it's you. And sometimes you have to take time and work at yourself. So while you're in a relationship, make sure that you're taking time to ask your spouse, like, are we on the same page? Like, do you feel like I overstep you? As a woman, ask your man, do you feel like I overstep you? Do you feel like you can lead me? Do you feel like I understand what you have to go through daily? Like, all of that is questions that you can ask to make sure that you are in alignment. Is the relationship operating at the capacity that you feel like we should be operating in? Like, all of those are important questions to make sure that you are asking your spouse so that you guys can stay on the same page, because most of the time if you're in a relationship, you want it to last forever. Like, nobody just get in a relationship and be like, you know what, I'm gonna just do this for 2 or 3 years and we're gonna keep it pushing. Nobody does that. So it's important to make sure that your relationship is operating and functioning at the highest level, that you can do the things that you want to do, that you can withstand forever. Forever is a lot. Like, for some of us, forever might be 100 more years. Could you operate in that manner? Do you know where your relationship stands? Do you know the mental capacity of your relationship? If somebody was to lose somebody, could you withstand that? If one of y'all parents were to get sick, could you withstand that? If somebody had to come and live with y'all, say a parent gets elder and now they got to come live, can y'all withstand that, or would that tear y'all apart? Because it's like, why they here? Do you and your mother-in-law get along? Do you and your father, like, it's things that you have to pay attention to when you are in relationships to make sure that you are operating at the highest capacity. Make sure your man is good. Make sure your woman is good. Make sure, are we on the same page? What are our non-negotiables? What can we not do? What can we do? How do we keep us operating at this high level? How do we make sure both of us is happy? Because I don't believe in happy wife, happy life. I believe if the whole house happy, we functioning correctly. So I need my man to be happy. I need to be happy, because that's going to trickle on down to them kids, and we're going to make sure they happy. So you have to make sure that you are paying attention to these types of things. And of course, like I said, it's always people like to point the finger where he don't do this or she don't do that. But it's all about working together. You have to make sure that you are working together to get the things to function the way you want to function. A lot of times, problems could be prevented by communication. We allow things to go on too long. We allow things to just simmer until we get madder and madder and madder, and then we blow up about it. Instead of saying something in the first place, like, you know, I noticed such and such, and I just want to make sure that we are on the same page. I want to make sure that we are still operating at our highest level. I want to make sure the vision for our relationship is still the same, because you are important to me. This family is important to me. How we function is important to me. You have to make sure that you are doing those things. And nobody never wants to do the work. We just give titles and be like, oh, this my man, this my woman, we doing this, we doing that, and both of y'all be going 2 different directions. You will not function forever like that. You have to be on the same mission. So if you are in a relationship, make sure you and your partner are on the same mission. Make sure you're working towards the same thing. Make sure you're operating at the highest level. If you are not in a relationship, what are your non-negotiables? What do you desire? What do you really want? Are you able to accept the things you want? Are you able to give those things out? Because you can say, I want somebody to love me unconditionally, but you have conditions on your love. It don't work like that. The same thing that you are asking for, you have to be able to provide. If you want somebody to be spiritual, do you pray every day? If you want somebody to be able to provide for you, if that man falls, can you pick him back up? Like, it's more to just saying, oh, this is my boyfriend, or this is my husband, this is my wife. It's so much more to that. You have to be able to operate on the same page at the highest level. That's the only way it's gonna work. That's the only, and you gotta know your role. Like, you gotta function correctly. Every day the man might not be the head. Some days that man might fall and he need a break, and you be like, I got you. I got you. Put me in the game, coach. Like, I got you. But you just gotta know how your household functions. So make sure that if you, like I said, if you're not in a relationship, when you start getting in a relationship, you make sure you ask those questions like, what is the vision for this? What are we planning on doing? What are we working towards? Because women, oftentimes we will get in a relationship and be thinking that, oh, I'm in this relationship so I can get married. And the man be thinking, I'm in this relationship so I can smash. So make sure that you and the person that you decide to partner with is definitely on that same page. And it's like, okay, what is the vision for this? What are we going to do? What are we trying to accomplish? How can we make sure that we remain happy? How can we make sure that we are operating at our highest level? How can we make sure that our kids are always happy and functioning in the best type of way? The only way to do that is if you and your partner is doing the same thing. And you have to be a whole person before you invite somebody else into your situation. So just pay attention to the things that you want. Check your track record. If you've been in relationships before, look at yourself and take all the hurt out and all of that. What happened? What could you have done to prevent that? And how can you make sure it don't happen again? And if you are beginning to get to the point where you are dating to marry, what does that look like for you? What are my non-negotiables? What are the things that I need? What are the things that I desire? What are the things I cannot do without? And the things that I'm asking for, am I ready to accept those things? All right? That is very important to be able to accept it. All right? So I greatly appreciate you guys watching. I hope you have a wonderful night. For those who caught me in the middle, go back and watch the whole video. I thank you guys. Y'all have a great night. All right?